Are we live? Are we on air? We're on air. What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to Sibz, West Coast, East Coast siblings, where we break down your favorite movies and TV shows. Tonight we are talking, sadly, another episode 4 of The Flash, season 7. And I'm going to let Sydney talk and intro it because I've got a lot to say about my disappointment, but I don't want to start it off like that, you know? So, Sid, why don't you open us up? But before we do, be sure to hit the subscribe button and click the bell. Let's get into it.
Hi, everyone. So, obviously, this week we are talking about The Flash. Christopher is going to rant about how much he hates it, and I'm going to tell you the truth of what actually happened. Look at this from an objective point of view. So, basically, the traumatic Mirrorverse saga has closed, and now the Flash is, in the city. They're trying to rebuild the city and kind of get back on their feet after all this drama. Yeah, basically the main through lines are, Barry has some guilt issues that he needs to deal with. Iris is like uncomfortable adjusting to the new world. And our bad guy this week is Abracadabra, whose real name is Philippe something or other. And basically he makes an antimatter bomb and is trying to make Central City disappear because he wants to get back at the Flash for reminding him of an alternate timeline.
It wasn't even on purpose. Okay, blah, blah, blah. If you got bored and wanted to click off, that's exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to change the channel so many times because this episode was so boring. Let me tell you this. So basically, the only good part about this episode was the tie-in with Crisis on Infinite Earths and the fact that Abracadabra was only back in their timeline because he started having memories of the time that happened before Crisis on Infinite Earths switched everything up. But let me just say this. Once again, for the second week in a row, you have a villain that is not defeated by the Flash. You have a villain that is conflicted about their own morality or whatever and gives up. They decide to stop. They decide to shake hands. And what was with the big hulking she-beast at the end of the episode? And why did she totally kill Felipe? I hope I said that right. And then just give the Flash a bear hug and let him go. She could have easily killed him. Yeah. Anyway, now she's out on the loose.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. But I was excited because she's a villain who clearly he can't reason his way out of. So he will have to punch, kick, and destroy. But
we don't know that. No, he's probably going to sing her a lolly-dee-dolly song and she's going to melt and start loving everyone.
I mean, hopefully not. But you can tell that the writers know that they're doing this because there were so many comments throughout this episode of when Curtis says he doesn't need big fists or hard hits or something. He has a big heart. It's like nobody is watching superhero TV shows because the superhero has a big heart. Like, what? And then Barry says to Philippe, Abracadabra, he's like, I know I can't beat you, so I'm not going to try. What the heck are we watching? So on that front, I agree. It is getting a little out of hand.
Yeah, out of hand is one way to put it, and it's a complete understatement. Like I've said for the past couple of weeks, this is such a far cry from the Flash of seasons 1 through 4, and even pretty much 1 through 4. Would Zoom, would Reverse Flash, would Savitar be like having these conversations and deciding to just be a better person, but it happened with Mirror Master. Now it's happening with Abracadabra. These villains are not being defeated. They're just being loved to death. They want to hold their hands and just make this is not even the Flash.
Love is powerful, okay?
Oh, please. Yeah.
Love can change the world.
Oh my gosh. But do you get what's happening here? As DC fans, this is the point we're at with this show. I watched Superman and Lois, and we'll be doing an episode on that tonight. It's on right now. And then you look at the Flash, and it's such a far cry. It's so different from Arrow, which was dark, and Arrow was dark and violent. Okay.
But Arrow also had some sucky seasons too.
But regardless, they were not singing Kumbaya with the villains at the end. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the writing always being fantastic, but the problem is the writers here, they're not even trying. They're making these fluff stories. Abracadabra really just wants his family back. Okay, so he has good intentions. Mirror Master really just wanted to belong or whatever. So she had good intentions too. It's like, who actually is a villain? No
Yeah,
one.
did you also pick up on like the sort of like social commentary of everything? Like Iris being stuck and separated from her loved ones for 3 months. She was isolated, and it just seemed like there was a lot of like tie-in point to COVID and what's actually happening going on in the world. And it seemed like she gave
Yeah.
this big emotional speech at the end to sort of encourage the viewers. And it's like, okay, but we're watching TV in the middle of COVID to escape the drama of COVID. We don't want to constantly be reminded of it. We want to be taken on an
Sure.
exciting adventure
Yeah, I guess that's a
with that.
fair point. I think because COVID and the pandemic like is such a big part of everyone's lives, it's going to be in everything, in art, in whatever, because that's what
Yeah.
people are really going through. And at the end of the day, I don't have a problem with that because these people are artists and people they make art
Yeah.
and they're going to express how they feel with art. So I'm not even mad at that. My problem is there is no distinction between the heroes and the villains. But besides my reaction to the episode, we did have some developments, obviously, with Killer Frost, etc. in this episode. We got full team Flash. Now we got two Caitlins, Chester, Allegra. I mean, they're all back, and now Iris is back from the Mirrorverse. So there were some major developments. I guess
Yeah, I
that's a good
wanted.
thing.
Yeah, I mean that's great. I really do think they're just in a funky spot and they're just trying to find their feet post COVID, because we Abracadabra mentions what is it, the Chronarch. That sounds pretty exciting. We know Abracadabra is from the future, so maybe Barry has some sort of big war with. All right, well I'm excited about that. Okay, the Flash and time goes hand in hand, and I'm excited to see what happens with that.
Listen, listen. Am I excited? Honestly, I'm afraid. That's what I'll say. I'm afraid to be excited because of what we've gotten for the past, all this season and the past season or two. I don't know what to expect. Like any villain who is
That's
really,
good.
I'm saying whether it's Wells who goes and then comes back a million times, the Speed Force that goes and then comes back a million times, like it's like a record on like repeat, and it's starting to get so old. And this it hurts because I was like the biggest Flash fan, and I preferred the Flash to Arrow, and Arrow started it all. But it's like as where Arrow had its bad seasons and then rebounded toward the end, got back to its roots, brought those villains and things back for the end. They didn't just bring them back a million times. They brought them back for the end. It got edgier and then it ended. The Flash seems to not be able to get out of this rut. They don't seem to be able to get out of this la la fluffy villain rut that they're in.
Yes, I agree, but on some levels, I feel like the TV show is always. I feel like the TV show is always harped on love and family and like getting the bad guys to do the right thing. It just feels like I agree. I agree. It feels like it's being
No, no, no,
expounded
no, no.
upon
I
right
gotta
now
stop you
for
there.
no
Did they get
reason.
the bad guys to do the right thing, or did they beat the bad guys? Did
They
they
didn't
defeat the
always
bad guys?
beat the
I'm
bad
talking.
guys like
Okay,
down
I'm
into the
talking about when the
ground.
show was good, when there was Zoom, when there was Savitar. I'm sorry, did Zoom decide to turn over a new leaf? No, he
No.
didn't. Did Savitar, after impaling Iris, did he decide to just turn over a new leaf? No, it was the
Well,
Flash. Savitar was Barry.
yeah. Yeah, all right. I a different timeline, so maybe I don't remember what happens with Savitar. But okay, fine, I'll give it to you. All I'm saying is that I think we should keep hope alive because the Flash show, it had great seasons. I think it will get there. COVID was a big bomb that dropped and messed up a lot of plans for the show. It was sucking before that, but I'm really hoping that COVID has given them enough time to get themselves together and now like be on the rebound.
I don't know why you're making
That's what
excuses
I
for
think.
this show. I really don't. Listen, this
Because
is
I'm a
Sibz,
fan.
and we're on.
I'm a
It's not about
fan.
being a fan, but you know what? Fans have to keep the content honest. I'm dealing with this with Snydercut right
Touche.
now. Fans are the ones who are honest. It's the critics and all the other fluff fans that just are yes men to whatever these people are doing in creating these shows. I think real fans who love the characters right behind you. I'm looking at them and it's making me angry because of Snyderverse and like in the Flash and stuff like that. I'm like, no, I think in a lot of ways it's our job to give them feedback, to give them constructive criticism because that's the only way that it works. They do something, we give feedback. They decide to change, or maybe they double down. Then, if we really don't like it, then they should change it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
We
so we
shall
get
see.
two irises, not two irises. We get two Caitlins. Well, Caitlin and Killer Frost have split at this point at the end of the episode. That's the big cliffhanger that they leave it on. And what do you think about this? I like Killer Frost. I had no problem with it just being her.
I like Killer Frost, but I like Caitlyn too. I like them both. It'll be interesting to see what the heck happened. We know Katie was. They both were having these weird headaches, and somehow their personalities have now physically been divided. That's what I said. What did I say? Same person. She was having headaches, and that seems to be what caused the divide. And I think it probably has something to do with the Mirror Master and the way that all ended. So it'll be interesting to see. What do you think happened?
Yeah, I have no idea. And it's probably she was singing a La La song in her head about love and joy and peace. And it just magically made everything better because for a long time, Caitlyn and Killer Frost have wanted their independence from each other. And I think through the power of love, they were able to split their personalities.
You suck.
Anyway, with that being said, guys, that is the wrap up for episode 4 of The Flash, season 7. Let us know what you think down in the comments. I'm sorry, I got no chill for this. Let us know what you think down in the comments. Like the video. If you like the video, let me know if I'm being too harsh. If you agree with Sid, let us know in the comments. Give me a big old thumbs down if you don't like it. But we will be covering The Flash, and also we got Superman and Lois tonight, so stay tuned for that. Also, more Snyder Cut coverage. Sydney's got an interesting series I think she's working on for Snyder Cut, so be sure to stay tuned. Lock it in. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.